But if push comes to shove, Musk and Jack have what it takes to come up with a social media platform that will be superior to Twitter. Remember, it is Jack who founded Twitter some 16 years ago. With the experience he has gained over the years plus Elon's genius, they can come up with a great social media site. Elon's new partnership with Jack Dorsey will not just change everything for Twitter, but the entire social media industry.
Welcome to the Mindset by Design podcast with your host, the expert Andy Murphy, where you will learn the tips, tricks, and strategies he teaches his world-class clients to give you the skills to dominate any business.
What's going on, Mindset by Design crew, and welcome to episode 354. Hope you're amazing as always. Do you know what I mean? What date are we on? We're nearly at the end of April. We're on the 27th of April today, 2022. Wild. Weren't we in December last year? I'm confused. These months are going fast, man. So many things are happening, and I really think that's part of it. It's like with the social media, constant news updates, it's like there's so much information. It's like the world's going so fast, but it's really not, right? It's really going at the same pace, but it feels like we are. And probably the reason why this year feels like it's going fast, because there's so much information, right? And the theory of relativity, plain and simple, 101. But you know what? Today's episode, I had to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do one about Elon and Twitter and what's going on. But you know what? I was looking for a topic yesterday to talk about today, and I was actually going to come up with an Alan Watts spiritual thing about the world is simple and we're overcomplicating it. Hey, maybe I should have done, but guess what? Everyone's interested in what's going on with Elon and Twitter. And understand, it's not just about Twitter and it's not just about Elon. It's not, right? What it's really about is freedom of speech. And some people go, it's going to corrupt it, he's going to lean on one side. And I hate that term, one side or the other. It's just, man, everything just flows over together. People's belief systems shouldn't be so rigid on one thought that they're not open to any other thing. People love teams and sides. Anyway, what it's really about is, I think, a massive change that needs to happen in social media and media in general, right? Instead of it being a constant clickbait news output or Facebook or anything that's on the internet, man, it's all, they get ad revenue. Do you know what I mean? You get ad revenue from getting eyeballs on your stuff. And because of that, they just say anything. They really do. So there's so much nonsense out there. I really believe that Twitter, I haven't been on Twitter in years. I actually had like 25,000 followers maybe 8 years ago, and I haven't been able to get access to my account in that long. Hey, maybe Elon will help me out, mate. I'll just message him. I'll send him a little text, Hey, dude, help me out here. Get me access to my account. I want to come back on. I actually just downloaded Twitter. But it was interesting. I was talking to my business partner, Ryan Alford, in the Radical Formula. By the way, man, on the 18th and 19th, we are putting out to the world, and you can be part of it. It's called Riches Are in the Niches. And these are the 4 key strategies that we've used to help world-class brands like NFL, Apple, Verizon, Microsoft. These are the brands that have been worked with Ryan, and he's blown them all up in his department, in his world. And guess what? All the things that I've worked with, all the royalty and the world champions and the digital celebrities and people doing IPO and all of those things. So what we're going to do is we are putting together a 2-day masterclass. It's like 90 minutes a day, and we're just going to blow your minds. Plain and simple. And we're going to be cranking these out, a different topic every month. And then we've also got a mastermind, right? So you can come on a journey with us for 12 months, but that's not available yet. What is available is hit the show notes up or head over to theradicalformula.com, masterclass, sign up, join us, let me know. Let's kick ass. Love it? Love it. Okay, so back to Twitter. So it's not really about Twitter. It's about understanding that it was a poisonous platform. Do you know what I mean? A poisonous platform. And that's one of the reasons I left. Everyone was just moaning and shouting. It became political. You couldn't say anything and people would just like put you down or rip you up. It's crazy. So guess what? Well, Elon's taken over. Does that mean there's going to be instant changes? Probably not, right? But maybe, I don't know. No one knows yet. Probably he doesn't know. But understand, right? What this is going to do is it's going to start taking back control to us. It's going to change the algorithm so we can see everything and we can make our own opinions, right? Instead of getting fact checked or blocked or banned or for having an opinion. It's just an opinion, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean it's real. It doesn't mean anyone's right in the world either. It's just an opinion. Remember what a belief is. A belief is just something we hold true with the information we have at the time. That's it. It doesn't mean it stays true. It doesn't mean it can't change. And if you don't have that behavioral flexibility inside of you to be able to adopt a completely different view of the world, then man, you got something, you know, what's going on? What's going on? Anyway, that's what this episode's about. And what it seems as I look around this is Jack and Dorsey, who is the creator of Twitter, and Elon seem to be very much good friends. I think they want the same thing. And that is for people to have a platform that they can express themselves on without getting judged, without getting destroyed, without even people going back in the media and going back 10 years to see what you said on when you were at 1 o'clock in the morning drunk before social media became a real thing. And then they're like, oh, you said that one thing, right? We're going to take that and then put it out to the world and rip this person. You know, it's sad. And I really hope this starts to be a catalyst for some massive change. Look, he's done it with the electric car market, right? He's done it with the energy market. But let's see what he can do with this. And whatever you think of Elon, you love him, you hate him, it doesn't matter, man. You've got to respect him. I think that's the key word, right? Respect him. And if you respect him, then you've got to really appreciate what he's doing. You know, it just in every aspect. He doesn't have to. You know what I mean? We're just like, oh, you know, building cars, doing this, taking us to Mars, starting energy companies, starting this, changing that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter our opinion. We should be respecting that he doesn't have to do this. He's not obviously interested in money. He's just got a lot of money. What he's interested in is impact. What he's interested in is creating change in the world. And if we can take that inside of us even a little bit and have that much dedication, right, to our craft, to our skills, to our business, if we can have that much dedication, imagine what's possible. Imagine if we had the belief that anything is truly possible. Anything is truly possible, right? Imagine if we had really that belief in our hearts. What would you be doing now? Right? Where would you be going to? What would you be saying to yourself and other people? How would you be creating money for yourself? What would you really, really be doing, man? You know what I mean? It's maybe it's exactly what you're doing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. So, what else have I got going on? I'm actually going on a podcast today. My client, my friend I've known for a long time, Stami, she's Greek. I always call her Stami. She's like, she's give up by now, you know what I mean? Just give up. But she is one of the top LA realtors in obviously the US, and she's been doing this game for 20 years. And we're all about helping real estate people take their game to a whole new level. And that ties in with mine and Ryan's stuff of absolutely building your personal brand so you can be seen and cut through the noise of social media and hit 7 figures. That's what me and Ryan are doing. But with Stami, what we're doing there is Stami, you're going to be calling her Stami, not Stami, right? But what we're doing there is basically we're going to be doing a 2-day masterclass as well. And this is really a real estate agent's brain and brand boot camp. Yeah, we're going to take all her knowledge, we're going to take all my knowledge, and we're going to tune your brand up and get you exposure. So this is for people who are new to real estate, who have dipped in their sales. People like that, right? This is a level 1 foundation boot camp, but it's badass. And I know there's going to be things in there 100,000,000% that I'm going to teach that you have never, ever heard about. I promise you, because unless I've taught it somewhere, you won't, because I've got my own perspective. So that's coming out, so pay attention to that. But you can just head over to what? Well, Andy Murphy Mindset on all social media, or you can head over to andymurphy.online. New website. Hopefully we can get that finished by next week, because I'm ready to go with all this stuff. So yeah, keep kicking ass. Did I jump into today's show, by the way? I thought I might. So theradicalformula.com, Andy Murphy Mindset on all platforms. Make sure that you're sharing this podcast. Make sure that you're writing a review for us. Apple loves me for it. Spotify loves me for it. And that means I can keep cranking these out for you. And we're going to be going to 2 times a week in the next probably month. It's going to be like a clip version. So yeah, enjoy that. Speaking of enjoying it, hit those show notes. Connect with me somewhere. Head over to The Radical Formula. Click on Masterclass. Sign up. And I'll see you there. But until that, let's see you at the end of the show. Let's jump in and go and see what's going on with Elon and Jack. Okay, crew, just before we jump in, what's interesting about this whole thing, just to give you a little snapshot into the background, it's interesting, right? So when we look at these companies, like, for example, Twitter, right, and Jack, who was the founder and CEO of this massive social media site, right? Plain and simple. Would you think he had control over that business? Of course you would, right? Of course you would, right? You think he can make decisions? You can think he can put angles? You think he can do what he wants? Well, he can't. Because when you get to that size of business, what happens is you have a board. And those board represent shareholders, okay? And they're interested in one thing in general. Is it about helping people? Nah, man, it's about making money. That's all it's about. It's about making money. So they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to create massive changes. They just want a stable income so everybody's nice and rich. That's what they want, right? But that doesn't help the world. That doesn't give freedom of speech. That doesn't change the culture of social media. It doesn't do anything, right? What does it do? Well, it just creates problems. So what Jack has said multiple times is that the board is bored on his business. It's not his business anymore, right? But the business is the problem, because they're old, outdated, and they just don't want change. Well, Elon thinks the same way, and he's already had chaos with them. Straight away had chaos with them. But guess what? Well, the deal's done. He has officially bought Twitter. So that's what's been announced. I'm sure there's many details getting ironed out, but it doesn't really matter. He's kicking ass. So it's the board that becomes the issue. So let's jump back in. I just wanted to give you that little behind the scenes thing.
Musk and Dorsey greatly appreciate each other, and they do not shy away from showing it off. The two billionaires are not just friends, you can call them buddies. They have so many things in common, hence their close relations. The two men have come to the defense of each other on several occasions when they were attacked. Before we look at how they ganged up to destroy the Twitter board, let us have a look at a few things that bring them together. One thing that is common between Elon and Jack is that both men love crypto. Most of their discussions and posts on Twitter are about digital currencies. The two men are not just crypto evangelists on the social media platform, but they are serious investors in the leading digital currency, Bitcoin. On the part of Musk, his auto company, Tesla, has 432,000 Bitcoins valued at $1.71 billion. Jack also has invested 8,027 bitcoins valued at $317.3 million through his fintech company called Block and was formerly known as Square. Musk loved Bitcoin so much that he even at one point allowed Tesla products to be bought via Bitcoin. Later on, he canceled the move since Bitcoin is mined using fossil fuels, which goes against Elon's belief of production and consumption of sustainable energy. However, the Tesla founder has promised to start using Bitcoin as soon as sustainable energy is used in mining the digital currency. On his part, Jack maintains that digital currencies will soon replace the dollar. This is so true given that the US President Joe Biden signed an executive order in early March that requires the government to assess the risks and benefits of creating a central bank digital dollar.
Okay, crew, let me jump in there. Did you hear a few things, right? Did you hear one of the biggest social media platform CEO loves crypto, loves Bitcoin, right? Did you hear that the richest guy in the Western world, I was going to say the world, but it's not the world, and also it's what wealth is public. But anyway, that dude, right, Elon, guess what he's behind? He's about the blockchain technology. He's about digital currencies. He's about Bitcoin, right? So if somebody who is radically changing the world, who is such a massive futurist, do you know what I mean? Massive futurist. Then, and he's kind of always been right. If he's saying these things, then shouldn't we be doubling down on crypto? Shouldn't we be creating a stock portfolio as well as a crypto portfolio? Shouldn't we be doing that? Shouldn't we be buying potentially real estate as well? Shouldn't we be doing all these things? Absolutely. So if, like he said then, Biden looking at creating a digital currency, a digital dollar, do you think everything's moving over that way? Of course it is, right? So you have the conspiracies behind it saying, yeah, but the point in that is that they can able to track everyone. They can control your money because it's digital. Well, it's already digital. You know what I mean? The banks aren't working by the gold standard anymore. You know, they don't have gold bars like Hogwarts or whatever it is. Is it Hogwarts? No, it was the bank. Bank in Harry Potter. You can tell I'm getting old. But, it's not done by gold anymore. It's done by air. It's done by leverage. So it's just digital currency. So it's digital anyway. So what's the risk? Well, the risk is they can control it. They can anyway. So anyway, just a little side note. Crypto, blockchain might be the future somehow, right?
The idea of digital currencies is not just being embraced in the US, but in very many countries around the world, where their respective central banks have started working on their own digital currencies. One thing that you will admire in both Elon and Jack is their love for tech and innovation. The two tech gurus can be credited for starting tech companies that have revolutionized the world in their own ways. Musk is the founder of X.com that merged with Cofinity to form the online money transfer platform that is popularly known as PayPal. Musk is also the founder of EV manufacturer Tesla that has made a name in the auto industry. It is the first car maker to reach a market cap of $1 trillion. Elon is also the founder of SpaceX that has made significant contributions to the advancement of space and rocket technology. Jack Dorsey is also a tech genius in his own right. Together with 3 other partners, Jack successfully started Twitter, which is now a giant social media platform that connects very many people around the world. Jack is also the founder of Block, which is an American financial services and digital payments company based in San Francisco, California. Elon and Jack's friendship has been tried in the past and found to be true. They have always been there for each other. The Tesla CEO came to the defense of his Twitter counterpart back in 2016 when Jack's role of CEO was at the verge of being taken away from him. Elliott Management, which had acquired around 5% stake in Twitter, was pushing for Jack's ouster as Twitter CEO cited his lack of commitment given that he was also the CEO of his other company known as Block. In such trying moments for Jack, his friend Elon showed him public support via a tweet that reads, "Just want to say that I support Jack as Twitter CEO. He has a good heart." 6 years after Musk supported Jack, it is now Jack's time to support his friend Elon.
The power of networks and friends, hey? Do you know what? It sounds silly, but it doesn't matter what world you're playing in. It's if you hang around in LA, you live in LA, and you hang around that scene, guess who you're gonna meet? Yeah, you're gonna meet celebrities, right? You're gonna meet Yeah, Hollywood celebrities and people like that. If you hang around in Liverpool, where I'm from originally, in the UK, guess what? Yeah, you're going to know people in Liverpool, right? But if you hang around in San Francisco and you hang around that world, guess who you're going to know? Yeah, you're going to know people in the tech game. And that's where Jack and Elon know each other from, is from San Francisco. Now, obviously, Elon's moved over to Texas for many different reasons, but understand that, right? So it's power of the community. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs are missing. A lot of entrepreneurs sit at home, and the solo entrepreneurs, it can get lonely. You can get sad and you can get stressful, and there's no one to lean on. That's why masterminds, that's why communities are so important. They really are important. It's one of the big reasons that we create, well, I created the Mindset by Design, but it's one of the big reasons me and Ryan have created the Radical Formula. And because we know the power of the community, and that's what we want to build, a global community. And so when Jack is supporting Elon supported Jack, it's a kind of like your mate going, he's a good guy, behave, he's alright, he is. Doesn't matter what that person's saying over there, he's a good guy. And what does that do? Well, it creates a more community around thinking that Elon's on the right track, and it's more trust, which actually Jack needs to, because he's brought him on as one of the owners. So he genuinely needs to make sure that the public's impression of Elon stays up.
And make no mistake about this, Dorsey has ganged up with Musk against the Twitter board. The Tesla billionaire started having issues with the Twitter board when it started frustrating his plan of taking Twitter private. On the 14th of April, the Tesla CEO made an offer of buying 100% stake in Twitter at $54.20 per share, which amounts to $43 billion. The day after Musk made his offer, the Twitter board called an impromptu meeting where they adopted a poison pill plan against the tech billionaire. The plan is meant to scuttle Elon's plan of taking Twitter private. Elon Musk has bit back at the board, citing that they are failing in their role of protecting the shareholders, as seen in a tweet that reads, "If the current Twitter board takes actions contrary to shareholder interests, they would be breaching their fiduciary duty. The liability they would thereby assume would be titanic in scale." The Tesla founder also believes that the economic interests of the board and those of the shareholders are not aligned. This is so true given their level of investments in the global communications site. Save for Jack Dorsey, all the other 10 board members have a combined investment stake of 0.12% in Twitter. This is very small compared to Jack Dorsey's stake of 2.25% or Elon's stake of 9.2% in the microblogging platform.
Let me just jump in there. Actually, I've never heard it be called a microblogging platform before. Or maybe I have and I've just forgot, but that's a cool name. It kind of describes it very nicely. But look at that, man. Look at that, right? The board own 0.1%. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. Now, is it a lot to them? Yeah. Is it earning them millions of dollars? For sure, right? But are they going to make the best decisions for them, or are they making the best decisions for the shareholders and the company in the future? No, they're just trying to keep themselves getting paid, right? So they're going to slow everything down. They're not going to want changes. All of this nonsense, man, right? But it's not going to happen because Elon's going to come in and make massive changes. And why wouldn't you want to go IPO? If you understand that this is what's happening now, Jack and they're all teaming up, they're creating hype, right? That hype, Elon's behind it, that hype will push it. The belief and the momentum behind that brand again, he will push it. And that means the IPO will be extremely successful. It will be extremely successful, right? Are you going to buy some shares? Right? Are you going to jump in? Of course. So that's the difference, right? That's the difference that makes the difference. A company is either dying or flying, right? They're not really in between. And this is going to be new blood, but I really feel this is going to affect all social media and the way the content is distributed, but also the content is curated. But we're going to find out. It's an adventure, right?
It is even shocking that one board member does not have even one single share in the company. Musk threw jabs at the board when he replied to a tweet that had listed the individual stake of each Twitter board member. Elon's response read, "Wow, with Jack departing, the Twitter board collectively owns almost no shares. Objectively, their economic interests are simply not aligned with shareholders." The Tesla billionaire has also promised to eliminate the salary of the board as soon as his Twitter takeover succeeds. The tech icon believes that the salaries and hefty allowances that are paid to the board are unjustified. The tech icon shared his plan of doing away with their pay in a tweet that reads, "Board salary will be $0 if my bid succeeds, so that's $3 million a year saved right there." If there is a person that has stood with Elon as he fights the Twitter board, it's Jack Dorsey. The former Twitter CEO and currently a board member of the social media platform could not hide his excitement when Musk was appointed to the Twitter board. At least Jack was now happy as he was getting a friend who could help him push through a number of agendas on the board. Dorsey welcomed Musk's appointment to the board via a tweet that reads, "I'm really happy Elon is joining the Twitter board. He cares deeply about our world and Twitter's role in it. Parag and Elon both lead with their hearts, and they will be an incredible team." There is no doubt that Jack Dorsey is not a happy man on Twitter. He resigned as CEO late last year to pave the way for Parag Agrawal, who was serving as Twitter's chief technical officer, before being appointed to the top office. There is also much that can be read from Jack's decision of leaving the Twitter board in May. But Jack is not leaving a company that he founded. Just like that, he is using every opportunity to fight back at the board, which he considers dysfunctional. The good thing is that he is not fighting alone. He has the backup of the richest man on the planet, who is determined to do everything possible to save Twitter from the hands of the board. After Musk's offer of $43 billion was rejected, he has increased the offer by $3.5 billion, making the new amount to be $46.5 billion. If that amount is not accepted, Musk may add more given that he has great wealth in his companies of Tesla and SpaceX.
Do you see, crew? Do you see how fast things change? This was put out, I think, this guy did this video like 48 hours ago. Well, he's bought it now. It's been accepted, the offer. So think about how crazy that is, right? And think about how crazy it is when they're talking about the board. There's a guy on there who doesn't even have shares. He's just getting paid. And of course the board don't want Elon to be in. Why? Because damn, he's gonna get rid of their salary and they don't have to do anything. That's a big slap in the face right there for the board. But guess what? It's too late. Elon's in. The board are gonna be slapped everywhere, and he knows what he's doing. So, crew, let's wrap this up. That's the end of episode 354. Elon, Twitter, the journey with Jack, and who the heck knows what changes in social media. The thing about social media is, right, they're just tech companies. They've just integrated so incredibly well into our lives as a tool that everyone's addicted to them. Do you know what I mean? But the more than that now, I used to hate social media. I really did. But once you understand it as an entrepreneur at any level, doing everything, we've got a big team, solo, whatever it is, man. Once you understand that you can create your own little media empire, and the media empire could be to 100 people, 100,000 people, or 100 million people. Doesn't matter. These are called micro niches or niches, right? And these micro niches or niches or communities mean that you can build raving fans. And that's the difference that makes the difference, right? So that's what we're going to be teaching all in a masterclass. Where is it? You got it. TheRadicalFormula.com. Click on Masterclass at the top of the screen, put your details in, and you'll unlock all of the information. Because you might as well, before you join, you might as well find out what it's all about. But it's going to be the 4 key ways that we've worked out, marketing and mental performance, that we've tested with companies like Apple, Verizon, the NFL, Forbes, 9-figure CEOs, IPOs, everyone, world champions, everyone you can imagine. We've tested all these strategies and we want to give them to you. And instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars to work with us, you get it for a couple of hundred. So jump on that. TheRadicalFormula.com. Okay, crew, until the next time, have an amazing, amazing week. Much, much love. And oh yeah, one more thing. Why don't you smile for me?
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of the Mindset by Design podcast with your host and NLP expert, Andy Murphy. We'll catch you next time.